What is up YouTube? My name is Skoldie and welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna go through the 3-5-2 formation in even further depth. So basically what we're gonna do is, compared to the other video, we're gonna go through and even more into detail. And as you can see on the screen, I managed to end up in the 52nd place of the last weekend league. So basically the 3-5-2 has been treating me very well for the past 3 weekends, and I feel as well that I have been able to master it a lot more. The only loss we actually picked up was on a penalty shootout, unfortunately, after conceding in the 120th minute where we conceded a proper bullshit goal. But hey, it is what it is, so we're just gonna basically have it. We went 29-1, which is very strong for this formation, and as well with a new patch. So what we're gonna go through today is the custom tactics. We're gonna go through what players are efficient in like what kind of sense. And then we're also going to go through the patterns of how to use it offensively and defensively. So let's just get started with what kind of teams we need to run with. So on the screen now you can see the two teams that I'm running the 3-5-2 formation with. On the left side it's my main team, what we call the expensive team. That's the one I'm running on my Xbox account. Also the team we got 29-1 with. On the right hand side you can see the cheap team. This is my road to glory on the PlayStation side, which I went 20-1 with this weekend using the 3-5-2 formation as well. But if we look at the left side, we can see it's a little bit of a stronger team, of course. We have the likes of Patrick Vieira, who is a very good CDM for the 3-5-2 because the way of he's so quick and he can cover a lot of spaces, and as well he can act like a right back / center back without any problem, covering up for the space that we leave behind using Cancelo as the right mid going forward. But at the same time, Cancelo is the best player, I would probably say, in order to play the 3-5-2 because he's so versatile and he's really good. I think as well Cuadrado would do a nice little job in that position, the same as Tavernier would also do, in case you want to use any of those three alternatives. Otherwise the key factor is always the fast center backs, where we have the likes of Info Walker, Varane and the headliner T.Hernandez. And these three are really fast, and they will help to cover a lot of the space that might get left behind due to us playing the 3-5-2. And if we get countered, we can always save ourselves. Then of course you have the Robert Firmino and Patrick Vieira as the defensive midfielders. One is a little bit stronger going forward, but both are very good balanced holding players, as well as both are good going forward. And then of course we have Mane, which is just a solid left winger, and then Ronaldo, Neymar and Mbappe, of course. You probably know the deal. But if we're looking at the cheaper squad, we can see as well that we have a little weaker points here. I would say the weaker point is actually the Lenglet, because he's a little bit slow at times and he doesn't catch up to people as easy. While using Varane and Klaiber as center backs are really solid because they're fast, they're strong, and they don't have any problems defending one-on-one. So I would say the key factor in this way is just using the fast defenders. So you want to make sure that you have the likes of A.Traore, Info Walker, Klaiber, Joe Gomez would probably do alright as well. The same thing with Varane. So these kind of players is the ones you want to use as the center backs. In this team I have flipped the side, so I have the left side being the stronger side, or what should I say, it's like the side going forward, where Kurzawa will be the one dropping back, and he's also a very solid left midfielder / left back. And at the same time you can also use the likes of Ferdinand, Mendy, which is very solid on the left side. Otherwise than that, I don't think I've tried too many people in that position, but usually they should be very good going forward. At the same time they should be very solid defensively. Here I'm using Marquinhos as my Vieira. Marquinhos is alright, he's around 80 pace, so he does the job, but sometimes he lacks that kind of pace at times, but he's doing a solid job, and I don't see any problems using this kind of team as well. But I would suggest having your stronger and faster CDM as the right or left, depending on which side you're using your fullback on. Here as well I have Bamba on the right side. I use Robben as a cam to come down and cover as a left midfielder, and then I have Ben Yedder and Ribery up front. So it's a solid team overall. I can really recommend Ribery. He's a little bit overpriced, of course, but he is really good. And then the Rat King, as they like to call him, Ben Yedder, he is also very good. And I was surprised because I haven't usually liked using Ben Yedder, but I managed to pick him as a red pick on my main Xbox account, and I managed to buy him on the PlayStation account. So I said this is how we line up the teams. You can see on the screen now as well how the teams are lining up, and as I said, they are really solid. I would say the Xbox team is completely made for the 3-5-2, mainly because as I said I have 3 really fast center backs, while on the PlayStation account it might be a little bit slower due to Lenglet, but otherwise Klaiber and Varane is doing a splendid job. And as well Robben as a cam. Many people will be surprised because they usually put him on the wing, but he is coming so good in these kind of runs from the left wing. Same with Mbappe on the main account. I will show you the patterns as well in terms of that. And then of course the Ben Yedder and then Ribery up front, they're really solid, so it doesn't really matter what strikers you use as long as they fit the needs of how your playstyle is played. But as I said, these are the teams. You can build your own. If you need any suggestions, I will link a few players down that is really good for each position. So as you can see on the screen, we are running a balanced 5-5, balanced 6-6, and then 2-2 on the corners and free kicks. So basically why I'm running balanced and 5-5, I usually do this on almost all of my formations because I find it the most efficient way of just keeping it very simple with my custom tactics. And I do most of my changes in game, you know, if I need to have more depth, of course I will up it a little bit, or if I need some like lower depth, of course I will take it down. But as I said, this is a personal preferences. I find 5 in the width, it will be perfect as well. Sometimes you might have to go a little bit wider if you want to stretch your opponent's team. But in the end, this is perfect for the 3-5-2, just running a normal 5-5. And then offensive style as well, you can see we're running 6-6. I just tend to up a little bit because it seems a little bit easier just having one more up in the width of offensive styles, so you get a little wider offensively and just one more player in the box as well. But if we look at the custom tactics, so if we start from the back, I have done no changes whatsoever on the center backs. They are just very simple and standard there. If we look at the CDMs, you can see we have the stay back while attacking and cover center on both of them. The only thing here you should think about is running your stronger CDM on the right hand side, because Cancelo will be the one coming back, and then Mane will be the one staying in the midfield position. So basically what you're going to have to do is, in case Cancelo is up a little bit too far, you want to make sure that Patrick Vieira comes down and collects that kind of position, and then João Cancelo can drop in the middle, and then it will swap in case needed, or it will sometimes also be a 5 at the back with Vieira playing as a right back / center back. But if you just look again at João Cancelo's defensive, he has the comeback on defense, which means as well that he's going to have coming down and playing as a right back, which means we're going to have a 4 at the back whenever that is done, because Mane, which we're going to look in just a second, is going to be balanced. Also the standard stuff, getting behind and get into the box for crosses, the same thing I'm running when I'm running a 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1. And if we jump over a little bit to Mane, you can see he's very balanced. He has basic defensive support, get into the box for cross, and get in behind. So just very simple. The only difference is that he doesn't have comeback on defense, because we don't want him to come back, and because then we will have a 5 at the back. Which we don't want. We don't have that 4-2-3-1 because I feel more solid in it, and then it's easier to counterattack in a sense as well. If we look at Mbappe, we can see that he has come back on defense, which means that because of João Cancelo dropping down as a right back, Kylian Mbappe will come down as a right mid. So basically what's going to happen is it's going to be like a 4-4-2 / 4-2-3-1 formation, because what we're going to have here on Neymar as well is come back on defense, which means he's going to come back a little bit into the Mbappe position and then also get in behind, while on Cristiano Ronaldo is just getting behind. So that's a little bit about the custom tactics. Is that I will show you the pattern in just a second, how they're all done. So let's take a look at some of the patterns, and here we're building our play up from the back, and as you can see, what the key is going to be, that he's going to be moving the ball from side to side, putting ourselves in one-on-one positions on the wing at times, and as well stretching our opponent's team. And as you can see here, we have stretched our opponent's team and we've gotten a one-on-one situation with Mane, and in the end it leads to us getting into the box and having 3 players running. And the same thing here, when we're building the play up from the kickoff, you can see that we find a very quick pass up to Mbappe, because using the 3-5-2 we're going to have plenty of options forward. And at the same time, in the 3-5-2, Mbappe is going to start as a cam and not a right mid. So what we're going to see here is this guy had enough because there was too many options, hard to mark. And the same thing here, building our play up from the back. we're going to be able to see that if we sometimes just move the ball a little bit quicker, we're going to have a lot of options. And in this case, you can see that we have a Ronaldo running, overlapping, and then just cutting back to the other side for a free through ball. But the key here is going to be Mbappe. You can see here he's down working his feet off as a right mid. All of a sudden, if you just pay attention to Mbappe, he's going to be the first one coming into his camp position. And all of a sudden, we have that kind of overlapping pass over to the other side where Mbappe is free. And as you can see here as well with our opponent, he's going to make a huge mistake straight off after kickoff with this pattern. And as you can see, we're slowing the gameplay down. And once again, Mbappe starting as a right mid, coming forward. And if we just take a look at him, he is not easy to pick up. And a little bit lucky here. I should have taken this shot first time, but the game didn't want it. But as I said, in the end, the Mbappe is going to be the key. And as well, pressuring high. This is what we spoke about it. We need to have fast center backs, because if we miss those tackles, having 7-man forward, we're going to have a big problem defensively. But this is like the common clip here. You can see that we're defending as a 4 at the back. As I said, this is the 3-5-2. You can see as well Neymar dropping down a little bit. And at the same time, while we're holding, our opponent is holding the position here, we're just slowly sitting as a 4-2-3-1, defending, making sure that he doesn't have any options. And eventually we're going to choke him out here. And this is the beauty of the 3-5-2, is that you can defend as a 4-2-3-1 like we do. And then as soon as you see we're transitioning into the 3-5-2 offensively, slowing down the gameplay here a little bit and taking our time. And all of a sudden you can see that we are going to make a huge mistake here in just a second, losing the ball. And this is why you need fast center backs, because if you do, you got to make sure that you track the runs defensively. If you don't, you're going to be exposed to those through balls every time. Luckily, in this case, we do that, and we managed to almost mess up, but we managed to get away with it. And the same thing here, if you're just taking a look at how many options we have, you can see once again Mbappe used as a cam here. He's moved into his position, and he's coming into a good run. And as I spoke about early, we want to move the ball side to side, and eventually this pass is going to open up. So as I said, moving the ball from side to side, and as well make sure that you have fast center backs, because the main threat defensively is going to be your the through balls against you. Because when you're defending, you're going to be defending as a 4-2-3-1. If you're looking for more defending tutorials, I recommend either just checking out my channel from my previous videos, or I will be uploading more in the future, or just simply visit any of the Boras Legend or the FIFA Analyst YouTube channels, and they will as well support you with that. But if you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe, and otherwise make sure that you have a lot of fun using the 3-5-2, because offensively you're going to have a lot of options. And if you need any help, of course, just leave a comment. But otherwise, until next time, and have a great day. Peace out.